What's happening?
Get ready for us. We're going live.
Bruh.
Fellas,
It's the Gents of the 3.5. Wanna know the deal. What's going on?
Look at that, man.
what's up?
It's the Gents of the 3.5. To be a fly on the wall. At the barbershop or gym in the bathroom stall. When he's on his way from hanging out or work. At the end of the day, do you ever just want to get into a huddle to listen, rebuttal, or just plain understand what's happening in the cave of a man? Yeah.
Speak on it.
3.5. Yeah.
All right.
This is a show about good friends, just guys shooting the breeze, talking about any and everything. Men don't just have locker room conversations, ladies. A day in the life of the squad, the fellas, them boys, the bros. It's just us people. My co-host George Jardé and yours truly, Darren Lorenzo. We're going to treat this like any old talk radio. Have a few discussions about life and what goes on in it. Hear me when I tell you now.
This is a story about a health crisis, a devastating divorce, and allegations of betrayal. Here's what really happened to the fourth member of Boyz II Men and the drama which came along with the fame.
All right. Today's visiting co-host is Mike Hammond, a.k.a. the master vocalist. Jersey Mike's Hollis Hammond, Batman. He's a trip, though, for true. You'll see.
They practiced on street corners, but their favorite place to harmonize was in the boys' restroom at school because it provided the perfect acoustics for their vocals. One day, Mike McCary walked in. He told the Washington Post he started singing with them, and they were so impressed by the bass in his voice. They asked him to join their group, and Mike agreed.
Yo, what you know about 90s R&B, Jardé?
Man, that's all I listened to growing up, you know.
I mean, you are a tad bit younger than me, so it's like old classics for you, huh?
Yeah, you can say that, yeah.
Some of my favorite 90s groups were like Jodeci, Silk, SWV, Blackstreet, BBD, and of course, Boyz II Men. What were some of yours?
Back in the 90s, I would say like Tevin Campbell. Yeah, Boyz II Men as well. You know, those kind of guys, you know. Because I always gravitated to the pianist. So, like Can We Talk? That was always my thing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That one, and I would say, like, Brian McKnight. That's my jam.
Word.
Things were headed down a scary road for him. He told Iyanla Vanzant he started experiencing back spasms while performing, which he attributed to scoliosis. He kept his pain a secret from his bandmates. As time went on, his symptoms began to worsen, taking more time off to go to doctor's appointments, and his health condition was causing him to miss rehearsals and shows. At the age of 28, he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. He kept his diagnosis a secret from everyone, including his bandmates and his then-wife, Venus. Mike also admitted he fell into a deep depression. Sean told Fox Soul they started to notice he wasn't as ambitious as everyone else. Still, they were loyal to him. And Sean said they still paid Mike a salary even when he stopped answering their phone calls.
See, I always wonder what happened to Boyz II Men.
Man, I don't even know. They just up and disappeared. Like most groups, you hear about them breaking up and all that stuff, but Boyz II Men, they just poof, disappeared. I haven't heard much about them.
I actually saw the group in Vegas like 6 years ago. It was just the three of them singing, and they had a background singer. It sounded real dope. Now, the background singer I'm talking about, he used to be a member of the 90s group As Yet. He was singing background like the whole show. And at the end of the show, they asked the audience, they were like, "You like our Letterman's jackets?" Because they were like wearing Letterman's jackets towards the end of the show. They was like, "Should we give him one of our Letterman's jackets? Should we let him join the group?" And the audience like, yeah. They was like, "Well, we don't know if we can let him join the group, but we will give him a jacket and we'll make him an honorary member of the group."
Really though? That would be awesome.
He left the group in 2003. When asked by Iyanla to sum up what he took away from his time with Boyz II Men, Mike answered, "Betrayal, a broken bond." Fast forward to 2012. Boyz II Men received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and Mike showed up to the ceremony. That same year, Mike asked if he could return to the group. Sean told the HuffPost they were ready to welcome him back. It wasn't until 2016 when Mike officially opened up to the world about his medical condition, but it didn't change his relationship with his former bandmates. Sean, Nathan, and Wanye have continued releasing music as Boyz II Men. They still weren't in contact with Mike, but his spot in the group is waiting for him as soon as he's ready to give them 100%. Until that happens, Boyz II Men will remain a trio.
So let's get to it and stay all the way live with the Gents of the 3.5.
I have control issues. I've always had control issues.
Oh, really?
I don't believe I've admitted that, but still, I've had control issues since what?
When he came out of the womb.
I'm trying. Well, they have developed from elementary on up.
Yeah.
Because I've always been in charge of something, musical, or even because I used to dance.
Control freaks rarely know that they're control freaks. They aren't able to recognize that they're controlling behaviors or irrational thoughts like, I can do it better than anybody else in this whole entire world.
I was always a choreographer because I was never one for drove me crazy, especially when I knew. And people would always take the long way around, and I knew if you go from here to here, it's so much quicker and so much easier. So I always knew how to get things done, you know. So since elementary, like fourth or fifth grade, I was like,
This is how it's gonna get done. I'm in charge.
yeah, it's crazy. It's so crazy, and it's so funny because it's bad also because during a certain point when I was like, let me chill and just coast it for a minute. I mean, there was a period like during me and Darren Smokey's times, and I kept my mouth shut, especially not being in charge, because I could have been company manager, dance captain, whatever have you, because it was just buzzing me when I was just like, and the sad part was when the company manager or the dance captain said something to me, it went in one ear and out the other, because I did what I wanted to do. It was horrible. I was so horrible. But what I was doing was working. I was still in moments, but it was working. So, whatever. But then after that tour, I went back to my control issues. I was like, wow. Then I went on the ship.
Wasn't your thing.
Not my thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's not for everybody.
It is not for everyone. He's right.
No, it's not my thing. It wasn't my thing. But I did it for as long as I could. I met some wonderful people who I'm still friends with. But again, I had to stay in that spot.
Right.
Stay very quiet because you go on and you going into the cast.
Right.
So basically your life is regimented. It is what it is. And at this time we have more time off stage than we did on stage. So I would go to the individual lounges and sing.
Right.
Just to explore. And
I did the same thing. Yeah, I did the same thing.
I did. And it became such a thing that after our contract, after I left, they had mandatory that the singers would do that.
Right.
And I should have been compensated for that idea, suckers, because they had separate Promenade Singers that would do that.
Right.
But then because I did it and I was in the cast, they were like, why don't the singers from the cast do it? And we don't have to pay the Promenade Singers.
Yeah, they did that. They did that on a few ships.
And I'm so sorry, Promenade Singers, but
I fucked your life up.
Exactly. Just jack y'all jobs for real. But then but then after that contract, you realize that you have these control issues that you have to do your own thing.
Right.
Yeah, so I had to do my own thing.
Number one, you believe that if somebody changes that one thing, just that one thing about themselves, that you would be happier. Number 2, you don't believe in imperfection. You micromanage and stay on them to the point where you're like, look. Number 3, you use silence as a power of control. Number 4, you use constructive criticism. That's usually like a very good word. Number 5, you're like a chameleon. You're always changing how you think and how you feel to fit the needs of others, because if people like you, then you can influence them. Number 6, you present the worst case scenario to shift others away from something or towards something else. Number 7, you're always intervening to try to explain something either for yourself or for others. Another one is that you believe that only success is riding on your shoulders. You always believe that you're the only one who could do it right and that nobody on your team. So it also says that you're not a team player.
So after Ships, what happened? What'd you do after that?
I went and did an album. I met my producer Darren Brown, and it was just like a fluke because I get a call from one of the New York singers, Tony Smith. Tony Smith was famous for Jamaica Funk.
Jamaica Funk.
That's what it is. She called my phone. She said, Mike, could you cover a gig for me? I was like, sure, no problem. So I went to this gig. I'm singing, and the producer is on the keyboard.
Wow.
And I'm singing. So after the first set, he said, let me talk to you. He said, what are you doing here? And I was like, oh, did I fuck up or something? Did I mess up? He was like, you're a star. He was like, why are you here? What are you doing here? And then he told me who he was, because he produced Tony Braxton, Changing Faces, Groove Theory, Mary J. And he was like, let's work together.
Wow.
And we started working together.
Wow.
And then I did a record. I did a record, which I kind of jacked myself up. But that's another story for another time. And it was just what I needed to do.
Right.
And from him, I learned how to produce myself. I learned how to co-produce and then produce.
But you know what? I find that a lot of guests on cruise ships are very ballsy and some of the most insensitive people that there could be, because they will walk up to you and say, why are you here? You should do this, you should do that. And it's like, they might not say it to other people. Okay, granted, everybody can't get those kind of accolades. I understand that. But what's wrong with the cruise ship? I don't see anything wrong with that stage. That's good.
Well, for me, I think it's great. I think it's a great opportunity to perform. If you want to perform,
yeah,
great. By all means, rock out. But for me, because I was an individual that was evolving into that thing, it was so much past the cruise ship, because the cruise ship, it keeps you here, just like doing a tour, just like doing a show, a Broadway show. Yeah. It keeps you right here, but everything inside of you is like here. Yeah.
All right.
So,
but I just
that's what the cruise ship did to me.
Oh, you could do Broadway, you can do this, you can do that, and it's like, well, yeah, I could, but there's also nothing wrong with me doing this. This is the job.
No, not at all.
Stuff right now. It's like, why are you trying to sell me for something else that maybe didn't present itself, or maybe it's not my time for that, or maybe I already. There were some people that said stuff to me, and I'm like, well, I already did some of the stuff that you named. I just don't have a problem with this. I'm able to wake up every morning, be in a different place.
I get what both of you guys are saying. I mean, I've worked on cruise ships also. I mean, I do think there is an element of monotony, like it's just the same thing every day. You know, it's like, go sing at the lounge, go do a show, go do a 15-minute bumper, then go play shuffleboard with the guests somewhere. Let them win. Don't let them get pissed at you. You know what I mean? It's like the same things, and then you get your paycheck.
You had that love boat experience though, because I didn't have that. We didn't have to do some of the stuff that you all did, and I kind of think on one hand, you guys benefited from what you did, George.
No, I totally did. I'm not saying it in a bad way.
And then on some ends, that's not for everybody. People are like, no, I'm not trying to do shuffleboard. I sing. I only do this, and I get it. Oh, it sounds like George getting tired.
I'm sorry.
Oh, George, wake up.
I'm up. You know what's really funny?
George just straight yawned.
Look, I yawned, and I tried to get up, and look what I did. Wait, let me show you.
You wasted your drink?
Wait. Look.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. How much of it was in there? A lot?
No, not a lot.
Oh, okay.
I was just about to say, you didn't want that drink.
You didn't want it.
It was just a nice.
So, Mike, tell me, why is it that when I send you nice little videos of friends of ours that are doing nice little performance things or something that makes them happy, that you don't actually respond?
Hold on, let me take a drink on that one, and I'm going to tell you the truth.
Because I just feel some kind of way. I just feel like, I'm trying to send you stuff as my friend, and you're not responding.
Well, I think you should feel some kind of way because I know why you're sending it to me.
There's no what mean why.
I know exactly why you're sending it to me. Because you're sending it to me. No, you're sending it to me to get a rise out of me.
No, I'm just like
And I told you before, as I say to you in the replies of these videos, nope.
Okay. Yep.
Nope.
So you just see, Darren, you just trolling people. You trolling. You trolling.
Which is why I go, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
It literally pops up, man. I can't help. It's just like, oh. It's like a 12-year-old erection. It just pops up. And you're like,
and as soon as it pops up, he shares it.
Wow.
Yeah, a 12-year-old erection. That's what he said. I can't. Where's this conversation going?
Oh my God.
From now on, because I'm gonna make it my personal mission to try to get Mike to try to comment on some of these
He's
videos.
gonna put up that little emoji with the guy behind the computer looking over. He's gonna
Exactly.
Watching like this. Watching
Either
like
that
this.
one. Yes, it's either that one or this one.
No, I know when Mike does that one, it's bad. It's not good.
So guys, now we're coming into like our question round, if that's cool.
Yeah, hit us.
Hit it.
Question round. If you could buy any type of food right now to eat, whether it be something from the grocery store, whether it be from a restaurant, whatever your appetite is telling you right now, what would it be? Mine would be Chinese food.
I normally don't eat late night, but I force myself not to eat late night. But at late night, I have mad cravings for like fast food. Taco Bell.
Like any kind taco. Okay. Wow.
Taco Bell.
I want a supersized Big Mac meal.
All right, I respect that.
See,
I might order it. I don't know.
Don't do that. I haven't had fast food in so long that I feel that if I ate something like that, even though I might enjoy tasting it and eating it, I'm gonna be sick as hell.
You'd be sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been eating Mama Duke's food. That's why it's like
Well, yeah,
you've been on that home cook grinding. That home cook grind.
I stopped eating fast food when when I was in New York back when I was like what you consider a starving artist. That was the last time for that.
I actually got a notice for a self-tape. I'm gonna get prepared for it. Just finished the self-tape. I'm going to go wash my face off because my skin hates me right now. Okay, so I finished editing my self-tape. I am currently sending it right now. And my pizza came.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get it.
What is the most, let's say, outlandish thing that is on your bucket list? And I say outlandish, I don't necessarily mean outlandish, but just something that you feel like, well, I'm kind of coming to this place in my life. I doubt that it happens.
I never think it will never happen. I'm not coded that way.
Okay.
Anything
so
that I
what's
want to do.
outlandish that's-
But something that I have always wanted to do that I haven't done yet. Oh man, I don't know. I'm fortunate to do a lot of shit. I mean, I hope one day, I know this sounds really corny, but I know like right now SpaceX is doing they're doing all these trials to get us to eventually travel to space. I would want to travel to space one day. Real talk.
I'd be scared they'd leave me there. I'd be like, y'all waiting up, right?
Listen, man, you gotta. No, you know what, guys? There comes a time when you gotta just trust the science, man. For us to even get a chance to go up there one day, that's gonna be a.
Oh, if I was
whole
dying
next-
from something, I'd trust a lot of stuff. I'd be like, let's do it. Let's do it.
3.5.
The Gents